Mack, what's it feel like to get this accomplished, get it done, and start charging forward now?
It's typical.
It feels great, just to get it done. I think we did it in a really timely manner. I think anytime you extend these types of searches, it just makes it more difficult for everybody involved, and primarily our student athletes. So to be able to get it done in I think 6 or less days, and now we can move forward and start preparing for the 2015 season.
What made you know that Coach Herman was the guy? What stood out to you with him?
I think one, he's been successful wherever he's been, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, his time in the state of Texas, I think certainly will speak well in terms of recruiting. It was interesting. We had a lot of high school coaches reach out on his behalf. All of them just great respect for him in terms of the way he handled recruiting and handled them and their kids personally. I think he's one of the more brilliant people I've been around. He's smart, just extremely well thought of throughout the industry. Certainly, when you look at the history, our brand has been really on the offensive side of the ball, and I think obviously he brings that to the table as well.
Can you hit on anything in particular that got you over the hump, that as you did your background, did all your checks, something that just stood out and said, if we can make this work, he's it?
Well, I think in today's world, the football coach and the AD have to connect, and certainly I trusted him. My gut told me that he was the right person, and I think if you asked him that, he thought it was a great fit, and that we connected and thought this could be a great partnership as we move forward.
Mack, it had been no secret the struggles this season with the offense. Did you go into it pinpointing, targeting an offensive-minded coach, or was it kind of see how the process played out?
No, I think certainly, the offense side of the ball, you're thinking about it because, as you mentioned, the struggles on that side of the ball. But, I never go in and say, the next head coach has to be this, because I think you back yourself into a corner. And I think you go into it with a wide open mind, and you talk to hopefully great candidates. Every search is a journey. It really is. Personally, I love doing them. We talked to some great people throughout the process, and again, Tom Herman came out on top.
The fact that he had never been a head coach, how long did that sit in your mind, and then you move on and got past that one maybe missing piece of it?
Well, again, I think you do your due diligence. You talk to people throughout the country. You're right. He hasn't done it, but I think just in terms of his past, the people he's worked for, who he's learned from, you think about his personality, he has an edge to him. I think he's demanding. He understands accountability. I think he has all the tools to be a great head coach.
So you talked about Texas. His resume is dotted with Texas flavor all through it. Then you mix in the fact he's at a great program now. How's that combination all come together?
I think it comes together great. I mean, I really do. He's been at some great places. The Texas, background, that factor. Being at Ohio State University, high level, high pressure. Got to win all the time. You're playing in the college football playoff. Just off the record right now, I'm a huge Ohio State fan, and hope they can run the table and win the national championship.
How the hell is it off the record for all these cameras?
I expect you to edit it out.
Mack, what about the timing of it with the recruiting situation? Coaches want to get in and try to solidify guys that have already committed but then land some new ones. Is this timing-wise? Is this going to be a good fit for you guys? Yeah,
it is. Right now we're in the middle of dead period. That started. I don't even know what day it was, what day it is today, but it started on Monday this week. So, and that runs through the 15th of January. So coaches can only reach out to a student athlete or prospective student athlete once a week. So that puts everything on hold. It certainly gives us a chance to visit and keep other schools away from our 15 verbal commits. And Coach Herman has done a great job recruiting in the past. I think last year he was named one of the top 25 recruiters in the country, and he'll do a great job connecting with our 15 verbal commits, and then also bringing in the rest of the class.
Was it tough to go ahead and say take care of your job at Ohio State before you come here? Is that a tough thing to do?
No, not at all. You know, he owes that to Gene Smith and to Urban Meyer and particularly those young men. And I think it's great for our university. The fact that, you know, our next head coach is the offensive coordinator. You know, they're going to go up against Alabama on the 1st and, you know, have a chance to beat you know, certainly a great Alabama team, and then, you know, hopefully playing a national championship game on the 12th. So I look at that as just being extremely positive for our university.
Mack Rhoades, like innovator, brilliant, have been said about him when it comes to his offensive thinking. When you talk to him and maybe he laid out his plan, or, you know, I don't know if he did his homework and looked at what you had, but did anything stand out about what he presented to you of what he'd like to do here?
I think what was most impressive is the fact that, you know, his offensive plan, he's got a fundamental base in terms of things that he believes in, but it's adaptable. And, you know, when they first went in, or he first went into Ohio State, you know, he looked at their talent, at their personnel, and adjusted his offense to take advantage. And adjusted his office to take advantage of the personnel. And, you know, certainly he's done some research on our team, but not at the depth that he certainly needs to. And he'll do that. And I think, you know, he'll adjust his offense to the type of student athletes, young men that we have this year, and then he'll begin to recruit to ultimately where he wants it. So, and he's been successful doing that every place he's been, if you look at his track record.
In your conversations with him, what kind of questions did he ask you? Obviously, you guys have the new stadium, you have the selling point. I mean, was that kind of stuff he was excited about too?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he wants to be a head coach, and you've got to be really careful in this industry. You know, sometimes you only get one shot at it, and you want to go to a place where you think you can win championships. And he certainly did his homework in terms of our administration, you know, what we believe in, what I believe in, our facilities, our commitment, and you know, he really believed that this is a place that he can win championships. And I'll tell you this, so did a lot of other people. We had great interest in this position, and you know, I think, you know, that's what, you know, maybe I was most proud of, and the fact that you're able to get the national, you know, assistant coach of the year to be your head coach speaks volumes in terms of the university and where it's headed.
With you know, new stadium, a lot of things you talked about, a talented roster. Do you think he'll be expected to come in and win immediately?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, the expectations for this program have changed. You know, we want to be nationally relevant, and we certainly believe that we can be here, and we will be here. And he knows that. He understands that. There's pressure that comes with every one of these jobs, and we're going to do everything we can to you know, give him all the tools necessary to compete at that level. But that's our expectation. It's not just to be relevant within our conference. That's where it starts, and we have to be relevant within our conference. But we want to be amongst the national conversation, and again, that's what we'll expect.